Suno Studio now has an EQ, and I guarantee you are not using this to its full capability. I'm going to show you everything that I've learned from the past decade producing, mixing, and mastering music.
Do you ever think about me when you're by yourself? Does he know you like I do?
These little doohickeys right here, these dots, are called bands. Bands that make a dance. And the bands will make more sense in just a second. So the best way to think about how an EQ works is from left to right is the range of human hearing. It goes from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. On the left side is all of the low frequencies, and on the right side is all of the higher frequencies. So horizontally, this represents frequency. Vertically, it represents volume. Let's say you do this. This part of the frequency spectrum is going to be 9 dB louder. So I'm just going to play this drum beat so you can hear what that sounds like. Now, if I were to take out some of the low end, you'll start to hear the kick disappear. If we only leave the top end, you're just going to hear the sizzle. And there are tons of different things that you can do with this. So now just below these bands, we have different filter types. All a filter is doing is just changing the shape associated with the band. And it's a lot easier to just show you than to tell you. So we're gonna go through each one of these filters individually. So we're just gonna choose band 2 and go to this first filter all the way to the left. This is called a high pass. It's called a high pass because it's letting the high frequencies pass through. So you can interchange high pass with low cut. You can also control what frequency this is by this knob at the bottom. Zoop, zoop. This knob is called resonance. This is gonna decide how narrow or wide your filter is. So if you go all the way to the right, you see it's very narrow. And if you go all the way to the left, it's very wide. But that will automatically change from just dragging it around. So after a high pass, we have a low shelf. And this is basically if you want to boost bass frequencies like this, or if you want to take out some bass frequencies. The difference between this and a high pass is that the high pass is getting rid of the low frequencies completely. This is just taking out some of the volume. So let's say you think the bass is just a little too loud. You could do something like that and just get rid of it a little bit. And then we have a peaking filter. This is more for boosting or taking away very specific frequencies. So if you've ever heard a recording where you can hear like ringing off of something metallic in the room or something like that, that's the type of stuff this is used for. So I'll just move this around so you can hear how that sounds. Next, we have a notch filter. The most useless filter in the world unless you're doing neuro bass, but this is what it looks like. And next we have the high shelf filter. And the high shelf filter is exactly like the low shelf filter, except it's the opposite. So this is for making subtle changes in the high end. You can boost it a little bit or take it away a little bit. And last but not least, we have the low pass filter, which is just the opposite of a high pass. It's letting the lows pass. Suno, in their infinite wisdom, has bestowed presets upon us. These are really good to look at to get an idea of how it works. For instance, for clarity, they have some of the mids taken out. They've got a bump in around the 2.5K range, and then bass boost is just a big old bump into bass. And lo-fi is a good one because this is the radio effect. And this is made by using a high pass and a low pass. So that way you're taking out some of the highs and you're taking out some of the lows. So now we're really gonna put this to work. I'm gonna go back to the Create tab and we're gonna make a song. We're gonna stem it out. We're gonna take it into Suno Studio. We're gonna use the EQ like it owes us money. And we're gonna be using the Simple tab because I'm casually just gonna go to my 10,000 Suno prompts ebook. 200 genres, 50 prompts per genre. I'm just gonna go to acoustic acoustic pop. And also this has tags for the genre, mood, instrument, and vocals. And I'll just go with this first one, copy that and paste it. And also each one of these prompts has what the song is about, and it's just kind of random topic, so you can delete that if you want to, which I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna say song about falling in love with Suno Studio's new EQ feature. Am I gay though? According to my daughter, yes.
Chasing that perfect little space where your voice can breathe.
Perfect. I love it. Use the 3 dots to open this in Studio after it loads. Now we can open in Studio. The first thing we're going to do is click on this bad boy, go to clip and extract stems, and we're going to get all detected stems because we want them all. We want ultimate power. Sorry, I had extra caffeine today. All right, we got all our stemmy poos. Let's insert all. And I'm just going to go through each one of these tracks individually and see if there's anything we need to clean up. But it's important that you always remember the listener is going to hear this in context. They're not going to be listening to a single instrument singled out. They're going to hear the whole thing as a whole. Let's go to the synth. First thing I want to get rid of is this noise. You know, that hissy AI-ness. So that is going to be in the high end. So I'm going to select one of these bands and we're going to use the low pass filter. And since this is such a background element, I think we can take out a lot of it. Now that I've done that, you can also hear this frequency. That's kind of ugly. We're going to dip that out a bit just by clicking and dragging it and bringing it down. And I'm going to turn this Q knob to the right to make it narrow because I really just want that one frequency. Now let's listen to it without the EQ and then with the EQ. All right, now let's check out this percussion. Okay, not really much to do here with the EQ except maybe activate a high pass filter on one of these bands just to make sure it's not interfering with any of the bass frequencies. Let's hear the keyboard now. Okay, so this is a really good time to use the high shelf because we do need this high end for the piano to sound good and for you to be able to hear the articulation of it, but it does have some staticky grossness in there also. So I'm just going to bring this down a little bit. I'm also going to select this band at a peaking filter because I don't like this stuff in the mids being that loud because that's where the root note of the vocal is going to sit, is going to be in about that range. And I can also hear some clicking in the low end. So I'm going to select another band and turn this into a high pass, and we're just going to cut it to around here. And now let's get this guitar. I know we're mostly talking about EQ, but I think we need to recreate this guitar so that we can have 2 different guitar takes. So I'm going to highlight that whole guitar take and change this to cover. Open this up and go to guitar. And for style, I'm just going to put acoustic, finger picked, soft. And I'm going to put the audio influence to 85 because I want it to be basically this same guitar, but just a little bit different. Almost as if I'm getting somebody to play the track twice so that we can double track it. All double tracking is having 2 takes of the same instrument, but because they're played slightly differently, it's going to make it sound a lot better and a lot thicker. All right, so let's listen to this new guitar we've generated, and then we'll see how it compares to the original guitar. Here's the new guitar. Here's the old guitar. That's actually kind of perfect. Let's hear them together. Okay, it did a really good job with that. That's exactly what I was looking for. So I'm going to mute this guitar for now that we just generated, and we're going to focus on the original guitar. Very first thing I noticed is there's too much low end. You hear that? So I'm going to select band 2 and I'm going to change this to a peaking because it's only around 60 to 100 hertz that I really want to soften up a little bit. But I don't want to take it out all the way because that bass really gives the guitar weight. And I'm gonna give it a little boost with a peaking filter around 1K, because I want to hear that come out a little bit more. So now I'm about to blow your mind. We're gonna pan this guitar all the way to the left using this slider that's right below the volume. And then I'm gonna go to our new guitar and I'm gonna pan that one all the way to the right by dragging this slider all the way to the right. So now it gives us this very wide guitar sound. But we also need to EQ this new guitar as well. So I'm just gonna copy basically what I did with the last one. All right, now let's listen to the bass. And oddly enough, we're actually going to take out some low end from the bass. You're mostly hearing this like 50 to 60. All the way down to 20K, you're really not hearing. And all that's going to do is add extra frequencies that you don't need. So we can just cut it off at around 20. And I'm going to use this band as a peaking filter just to take out this mid-range right here, because we really don't need that. The guitar and the vocal are going to be eating that space up. Now let's go to the drums. I think I just want to give it a little bit of boost in the high end. Now let's go to our vocals.
Coffee ring by the keys, chasing that perfect.
Alright, so since this is a female vocalist, we really don't need all of this. We can get rid of pretty much everything below 200 hertz. So I'm going to change this band to a high pass, and we're going to go to around 200 hertz.
Gray day on my screen, coffee ring.
And I can definitely tell the S's are a little bit piercing.
Gray day on my screen.
So usually in a DAW, you would use a de-esser for this, but we can still help it with the EQ. And it looks like that's around 5,000 to 6,000 hertz. So I'm just gonna dip that just a tiny bit.
Gray day on my screen, coffee ring by the keys, chasing that perfect.
I'm also gonna dip out some of these mids right here.
Gray day on my screen, coffee ring by the keys, chasing that perfect.
Last but not least, the backing vocals.
It's a new kind of color.
Ooh.
In the way I hear you now, you're calling.
That's so pretty. But anyways, let's go to band 2, make it a high pass because I can hear some ugliness up in here.
It's a new kind of color.
So let's get rid of that.
It's a new kind of color.
And for this band, I'm going to use the high shelf again to get rid of some of those highs because I don't want this competing with our lead vocal.
It's a new kind of color.
But I don't want to do it too much because if you get rid of it too much, it kind of loses that magical feeling. And I definitely need to dip out this like 400 to 500, 600 range. That range usually gets crazy with harmonies and doubles for some reason.
It's a new kind of color. In the way I hear you now, you're calling.
Now I'm going to export this as a full song so that we can download it and we can do a side-by-side comparison of what we started with and what we ended up with. So I just dragged both of those into FL Studio. Up top we have the mixed one and this red one is the original. I'm just going to let this play and go back and forth so you can hear the difference. Let's start with the original.
Gray day on my screen, coffee ring by the keys, chasing that perfect little space. It's a new kind of color. In the way I hear you now, you're closer than ever.
But if there's anything else you want to know about Suno AI, let me know down in the comments, or I'm going to bippity boppity boo myself into a frog, and I'm gonna find the last bottle of ketchup in the post-apocalyptic world that we will be in 20 years from now, and I'm going to invent a time machine and go back in time to when you almost didn't get a paper cut and make you get a paper cut. Ribbit.